can get you out my head. You never ever let me forget. 'Cause just when I think you're gone, hear a song on the radio. Just like that takes me back to the places we used to go. And I've been trying but I just can't fight it. When I hear it I just can't stop smiling. I remember you're gone, baby, it's just a song on the radio that we used to know. I'll be honest, I'm alright with me. Sunday mornings in my own white tee. I've been waking up alone, I haven't thought of him for days. I'll be honest, it's better off this way. Every time I think that I can get you out my head, you never ever let me forget. 'Cause just when I think you're gone, hear a song on the radio. Just like that takes me back to the places we used to go. And I've been trying but I just can't fight it. When I hear it I just can't stop smiling. I remember you're gone, baby, it's just a song on the radio that we used to know. Just when I think you're gone, hear a song on the radio. Just like that takes me back to the places we used to go. And I've been trying but I just can't fight it. When I hear it I just can't stop smiling. I remember you're gone, baby, it's just a song on the radio. And I've been trying but I just can't fight it. When I hear it I just can't stop smiling. I remember you're gone, baby, it's just a song on the radio that we used to know.
Only the best.
You're saying those words like you hate me down. Our house is burning when you're gazing hell. There in the ashes, your soul cries out. Don't be afraid of these thunderclouds. These thunderclouds, oh no. These thunderclouds, oh no. All I need is love. All I need is a word. All I need is a. You turn nouns into verbs. To verbs. Where did love go when all is said and done? Where did love go? You put the running into hey!
Here in the ashes, your soul
the best.
I wanna follow where she goes. I think about her and she knows it. I wanna let it take control. Cause every time that she gets close, yeah, she pulls me in enough to keep me guessing. And maybe I should stop and start confessing. Confessing, yeah. Oh, I've been shaking. I love it when you go crazy. You take all my inhibitions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. You take me places that tear up my reputation, manipulate my decisions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. She says that she's never afraid. Just picture everybody naked. She really doesn't like to wait. Not really into hesitation. Pulls me in enough to keep me guessing. Oh, and maybe I should stop and start confessing. Confessing, yeah. Oh, I've been shaking. I love it when you go crazy. You take all my inhibitions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. You take me places that tear up my reputation, manipulate my decisions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. Cause if we lost our minds and we took it way too far, I know we'd be alright. I know we would be alright if you were by my side. And we stumbled in the dark, I know we'd be alright. I know we would be alright. Cause if we lost our minds and we took it way too far, I know we'd be alright. I know we would be alright if you were by my side. We stumbled.
Yeah, Mike, I started the week off bad too. Damn, guess who screwed me, Mike? Damn. Guess who screwed me? And Ohio State Buckeyes. God damn it. Double overtime. Couldn't get the job done. Couldn't cover.
Manipulate my decisions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. I feel so free when you're with me, baby. Baby, there's nothing holding me back.
Only the best.
I see you calling. I didn't wanna leave you like that. It's 5 in the morning.
Yeah, then I had an over. I had an over in an NBA game. Suns and Clippers, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had over 222 and it didn't go over. So I was over 2 yesterday. So I'm down like $80 or something to start the week. Not good, but that's okay. We're going to win today. I have it on pretty good authority. We're going to win today. Yeah, for the What Went Wrong series, I should make one for Texas A&M called What Went Weird for Texas A&M.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'll just catch you right. I'd rather be lonely, yeah, than wrapped around your body too tight. Yeah, I'm the type to get naked, won't give my heart a full breaking.
Only the best.
I'm out of my head, out of my mind, oh why? If you let me, I'll be out of my dress and into your arms tonight. Yeah, I'm lost without it. Feels like I'm always waiting. I need you to come get me out of my head and into your arms tonight.
Yeah. I don't mean to make you wait, just the pressure's been getting heavy. I know if I fuck us up, we'll be overdone. You'll forget me. I'm feeling bad that I act this way cause you let me. They call me king, but I know my queen will be there to check me. Last year, was running around 45th looking for Soho. Last night was riding down Rodeo looking for NoHo. It's crazy what can change in a year. Think that you know they'll go back and forth like a yo-yo. They live their life for the photos and see me, I'm acting solo cause I'm afraid to commit. Now can you tell me how I'm different than him? And him, yeah. I know I'm always questioning things like, girl, would you say that love cannot be found inside a vow or a ring? She laughs and says only material things. Those are material things. Imagine buying all my trust with a ring. Imagine spending all my love on a fling. Got a thing for you. If I had the talent you had, I probably would sing for you like.
Out of my head, out of my mind, oh why? If you let me, I'll be out of my dress and into your arms tonight. Yeah, I'm lost without it. Feels like I'm always waiting. I need you to come get me out of my head and into your arms tonight.
Yeah. I don't mean to make you wait or to contemplate about us. My ex, she loved to lie, guess that's why it's harder to trust. I've been searching to find myself and not get too lost in the lust. I heard once that you could try but can't fill from an empty cup, that's no lie. And all I ever say is how I need time. If it was up to you now, you would be mine. I'm on a roll more than I'm home, and still I find it's only you on my mind. The last three were Gemini. I take that shit as a sign, it's funny. You can't buy time with your money. And you love going to the beach, whether it's cloudy or sunny. And you love drinking all your wine until it hurts in your tummy. You call me honey, I'm tipsy, and really all I want is for you to love me. Flashbacks and back roads, driving back to my side of state. I know I need to tell you I care before it's too late. Before someone steps to the plate. Before you decide not to wait. Before you decide not to chase till you call me up just to say
I'm out of my head, out of my mind, oh why? If you let me, I'll be out of my dress and into your arms tonight. I'll be I'm lost without it. Feels like I'm always waiting. I need you to come get me out of my head and into your arms tonight.
Only the best.
All right, the game's at Florida, too.
I've been throw up the sex in a.
Get your vote in. The game's at Florida tonight. SEC basketball. Yeah. SEC basketball. Number 1, Tennessee on the road at number 8, Florida. Florida's favored by 10.5. Tennessee's 14-0. Tennessee's 14-0. Of course, they've never made a Final Four. Which is absolute poverty. I can't relate. I can't relate to that. Florida's 13-1. Home court advantage, though? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know if it's coming on TV or. Let's see, what time does it come on? 7 o'clock. So I can probably watch most of it if I wanted to bet on the game. Of course, I don't watch college basketball unless I'm betting on it or it's March Madness. And during March Madness, I just about bet on every game. So even then. But if I bet on the game, I might can watch it. I'm sure it's coming on ESPN or ESPN2. And then the call-in show comes on at 9. But basketball games are usually over within 2 hours. About 2 hours. Play a basketball game about 2 hours. Less than that, really, about an hour and a half. So, I don't know. What else can we lose money on today? Yeah. Let's see here. What else can we lose money on today? It's not today. This is today. There we go. Pitt at Duke. Oh, Kentucky at Georgia. Okay. Georgia's, I knew it. Georgia's going to do the same thing they always do. They're going to have an amazing record right up until conference play starts. Then they can't win a game. They lost their first conference game the other day. Who'd they play? Ole Miss or something? Yeah, see, Georgia's 12-2. So they were 12-1. But they do this every year in the non-con. In the beginning of the year, y'all know how basketball works. You play like 10 or 15 non-conference games, then you play nothing but conference games after that. So who did they lose to? They lost to number 15, Marquette. And that was their only loss in the non-con. But then they lost their first conference game, 63-51. So, yep, then they'll lose to Kentucky. They'll lose to Oklahoma and Tennessee and Auburn. I don't know. Maybe they beat Arkansas and, I don't know, LSU or something. But they can't win conference games. They never do. What else is going on? Arizona at West Virginia. Ain't got no interest in it. Look for them that's coming on TV. Yeah, Georgia Tech at Syracuse today. Auburn at Texas. Yeah, I don't know. Kentucky is a 2.5-point favorite, I think. Let's see. Let me see if you have Kentucky at Georgia, 7 o'clock tonight, SEC Network. Kentucky's a 2.5-point favorite. Kentucky is ranked number 6. Next year, Dan Lanny's going 15-1. What, for the Bears? They play 17 games. I guess he'd have to be 16-1 for the Bears next year. Hello? Hello? Can I speak to Nick? Kentucky coming off a big home win against Florida. Yeah, I don't know that much about basketball. I just pick a couple of games a day and bet on them. That's it. I don't know anything at all. I don't think I can name a single player even on Georgia. I do know Georgia's got a 5-star freshman, but I can't remember his name now. And the guy for Duke, I know his name, Cooper Flagg. I only know his name because people talk about him constantly, all the time. But I can't even think of that guy's name for Georgia now. Newell or something Newell? Isaiah Newell? Anyway, I don't know anything about college basketball. I just pick a couple of games a day and bet on them. Yeah. Kane Blue. I do. Okay. Now, I didn't know he was on the team this year, but I do remember him from last year watching some of the games. White guy shoots some threes. Kane Blue. Blue Kane is his name, actually. Not Kane Blue. It's actually Blue Kane. So you have it backwards there. Your dyslexia is flaring up in that. Yeah, your dyslexia is flaring up in that. But, yeah, Blue Kane is another one for Georgia. Yeah. Yeah. Just watched your video on what went wrong with Bam. I totally agree. I'm having a good time with those videos. I'm trying not to trash. You know what the problem is? I do so much trash talking that sometimes even when I'm not trash talking, it comes across as trash talking. So like I've ridden Jalen Milroe pretty hard during his time at Alabama. There's been plenty of times where I've trash talked Jalen Milroe. In the video yesterday, I'm not trying to trash talk Jalen Milroe, but if I'm gonna give an honest assessment about Jalen Milroe, I have to say that I don't think he plays the position of quarterback very well. I don't think he can, progress through reads and sort of make the difficult throw and that kind of thing. But I've spent so much time trash talking that when I say that, it sounds like I'm trash talking him, but I'm really not. That's my honest assessment of Jalen Milroe. He can run and throw the deep ball. If Jalen Milroe's the quarterback of my team, the last thing I want him doing is throwing an 18-yard pass. I just don't want, he can't. Lou, are your feelings protected here? Unfortunately not, bud. Well, your feelings can be protected by yourself. Here, you can protect your own feelings by choosing to not let them be hurt, by anything anybody might say. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing with Michigan. Like, how do you can't make a video about last year's Michigan team without spending a decent amount of time talking about their problems at quarterback. That doesn't mean you're trashing Orgy or Warren or Sharon Moore or Michigan's offense. Like, that's the only real honest assessment to have about Michigan's quarterback situation last year, is that it wasn't very good. Like, that's just, obviously, if you start the season ranked in the top 10 and you finish 6 and 7 and 5 or 8 and 5 or whatever Michigan was, then obviously something went wrong. And when you look at Michigan and you start trying to figure out, okay, what was it? It's like, it has to start with the quarterback. Or Bama. Why did Bama lose to more unranked teams this year than Georgia has in the last 9 years combined? Clearly something went wrong. I don't even know how far back. I think I've got to go all the way back to 2016 before I get to 3 unranked losses from Georgia. There was one in 2019 and at least 2 in 2016. So I'd have to go all the way back to 2016 before I get a total of 3 Georgia losses to unranked teams. Alabama lost to 3 unranked teams this season. Clearly something went wrong. It's not trash talking. I promise you, you know what Alabama's coaches and Michigan's coaches, and you know what they're doing right now? They're sitting around trying to figure out what went wrong. Like, they know something went wrong, and they're trying to figure. You have to know what went wrong before you can fix it. So coaches are doing the same thing. They're trying to figure out, okay, what went wrong? What can be fixed? What can we replace? What can we improve? I don't know who I'm doing today. Like, somebody in the comments yesterday said, do Tennessee. Nothing went wrong with Tennessee. Tennessee had the season everybody expected them to have. Nothing went wrong. That's Tennessee. I had Tennessee at 10-2 and making the playoffs. They went 10-2 and made the playoffs. They got beat by the best team in football. What went wrong? They played Ohio State. That's what went wrong. Oklahoma, yeah. Oklahoma would be a good one to do. What went wrong with Oklahoma? Well, again, quarterback room. Piss poor hire at the offensive coordinator position after running off a really good offensive coordinator from the year before. Running off Dylan Gabriel for no reason. Didn't pay him. If Damon Wilson is supposed to be an important part of Georgia's defense next year, pay him. I mean, if not, then he should go somewhere else because somebody's going to pay him. I mean, who do you think's playing outside linebacker next year if it's not Damon Wilson? Because it's not Michael Williams, it's not Jalen Walker. I don't think Chaz Chambliss has to be out of eligibility by now. Pay him. Instead of paying that slot receiver that we brought in from Southern Cal, should have paid Damon Wilson. Blaming Bobo for the loss, yeah. All those tackles he missed on that kick return for a touchdown. The fumble he had that led to Notre Dame's only other touchdown. The drop pass that he had. Do you see how bad Mike Bobo was run blocking? Bobo made three mistakes. Number one, getting aggressive at the end of the first half. Number two, not running Gunnar Stockton more. And number three, throwing a hitch pass with 2 minutes to go in the game, down 2 scores. Those were the only 3 things I saw Bobo do wrong in that game. You been in a coma, Ducky? Got some bad news for you, buddy. I got some bad news for you as it relates to the Rose Bowl, bud. Kirby Smart has one of the worst track records on the planet when it comes to hiring offensive coordinators. So I'm not willing to just throw Bobo away and roll the dice that Kirby's going to go out and make some kind of amazing offensive coordinator hire. He's hired how many offensive coordinators? One of them has been decent. 2 if you count Bobo, which a lot of you don't. But Kirby's batting average when it comes to offensive coordinators is in the toilet. Who do I got in the Natty? We don't know who's playing in the Natty. It's hard to predict. You're taking the Alabama approach where you want me to predict a hypothetical matchup. I'll take Alabama. Alabama would beat whoever they don't play. In the games that are being played, I'm going to take Penn State and Ohio State. They don't like Mike Bobo because Mike Bobo was the offensive coordinator in the whatever Mark Richt years when we didn't have any talent. This year was really bad offensively. Bobo's got to take some of the blame. But look around. I mean, the players deserve way more blame than Bobo. I mean, come on. The drop passes? What in the fuck? That's the worst offensive line we've had since 2016. Carson Beck was a disaster for the middle half of the season. Yeah, I picked Ohio State last week. What's wrong with you? I'm picking Ohio State again. UJ would have beat Notre Dame with Carson Beck. Says who? Was Carson Beck going to run the ball or block? We threw for 240 yards. Quarterback wasn't the problem. Did you watch the game? What's wrong with you? Gunnar Stockton was the best quarterback on the field. You haven't heard me say one word about beating Notre Dame with Carson Beck. You need to go to the ear doctor. You might need to go to the brain doctor. I thought Carson Beck played good this year outside of that 3 or 4 game stretch in the middle of the season. I thought he played bad from the Alabama game to the Florida game. I thought he played bad. But before that and after that, I thought he played fine. What's up, Daniel? How did Dylan Bell not make that catch? Yeah, well, I mean, I know you didn't watch every second of every Georgia game like I did, Cooter Cap, but that happened, that exact same thing, and I'm not exaggerating, that exact same thing on that exact same play happened 10 times this year. And then on top of that, there was another 30 drops on other types of passes. But wide open bombs down the field on deep go routes, corner routes, or post routes where there's nobody within 10 yards of the wide receiver. We dropped 10 of those this year between Dylan Bell and Arian Smith. And why is Arian Smith going pro? He could come back. Why is he going pro? Who's drafting that? Oh, I don't know. But the good news is we're bringing in another slot receiver. They can fair catch. If I put the over-under at 40, would you take over or under number of fair catches by Zachariah Branch next year? I'll take the over. I'll take over 40 fair catches by Zachariah Branch next year. It's about 3 a game. No, you can't enter the draft and then come back to college. He has, I think, till January 10th to change his mind. But I don't think he's going to change his mind. He's already announced he's playing in the Senior Bowl. That's every year, Anthony. You should hear Georgia fans talk about Nitro Tuggle. What do I think about James Coley? I think he's one of the worst offensive coordinators we've ever had. He can recruit, but he's a terrible offensive coordinator. And I haven't seen anything that leads me to believe he's a good wide receiver coach outside of his ability to recruit. Well, Ohio State's wide receiver coach played for Ohio State. He's not going anywhere. Brian Hartline. You know my thoughts on that jackpot. It's ridiculous. Is there some kind of magic rainbow that floats over the Senior Bowl that prevents players from getting hurt that doesn't exist for bowl games? I mean, I understand why they do it, but that doesn't mean I have to agree with why they do it. You know, there's NFL coaches at the Senior Bowl. There's representatives from all the NFL teams. You get evaluated and coached up by NFL people. I get why they go. I get why they do it. Like, I'm not against the Senior Bowl. I actually think it's great for seniors to go to the Senior Bowl. I think they get a lot of valuable information there, a lot of important feedback from high-level people involved in the NFL. I think it's great. But the idea that you would skip the bowl game out of fear of injury but play in the Senior Bowl, that's idiotic. I don't get excited about slot receivers. Zachariah Branch is the exact same height and weight as me. I don't get excited about any football player that's the exact same height and weight as me. He's 5'10", 175. Let me ask you something, and I'm being dead serious. And this is just a yes or no question. Do you think Zachariah Branch can block a safety in the SEC? So I don't know what Georgia fans think they're getting here, but they're getting a guy that's not going to do anything but fair catch punts. He's not getting on the field. He can't block. He's 5'10", 175. And we overpaid for him because we had to take his brother as part of the deal. His brother will probably have a bigger impact on Georgia's team next year than he will, because Georgia needs help at the safety position. You're losing Dan Jackson and Malachi Starks. Jonell Aguero's on a milk carton. You got KJ Bolden will be back there, but you need somebody else. So the other guy will actually probably have a bigger impact than Zachariah will. I see no intimidation against Baltards. The Baltards wanted Branch bad. Yeah, well, the Baltards would play Zachariah Branch and throw him the ball. Georgia's not going to do that. I hope I'm wrong. But we've got 11 slot receivers on the team already. We need outside wide receivers, not slot receivers. We need outside wide receivers. We need somebody that's 6'1", 6'2", 210. That's what we need. 200 at least. Where, we don't get those people. We got one coming in, freshman, but again, what do you think he's going to do next year? Nothing. Not doing anything next year. Georgia can't recruit wide receivers. This isn't breaking news, okay? This is a 120-year-old problem at Georgia with wide receivers. So stop trying. Just buy the best wide receiver in the portal every fucking year. That's it. Just buy them every year. I don't care what you have to pay. Buy the best wide receiver in the portal every year. They can't recruit them. Yeah, like who? Name one. Ohio State doesn't get portal wide receivers. They don't need to. If Georgia recruited a wide receiver like Ohio State does, they wouldn't need to get portal wide receivers either. I never downplayed McConkey. You can't find one bad thing I ever said about McConkey. He's making shit up now. You could have at least said Stetson Bennett and tried to have a chance, but instead you just embarrassed yourself there. Yeah, you did. Plus, you named yourself Dog Cat. Calling Lad McConkey is not making fun of him. Calling him a 3-star that nobody wanted is not making fun of him. That's the truth. That's the reality. Nobody wanted Lad McConkey. Nobody. That's why he ended up at Georgia. That's not making fun of him. That's the reality. That's a fact. Go look at his recruitment. No one wanted him. He was a 3-star during COVID. No one knew who he was. How's the portal looking for Georgia? I don't really follow the portal day to day. I kind of wait till it's over and then just judge the portal classes overall. I mean, Georgia got those 2 kids from Southern Cal. I wouldn't be surprised if they get another quarterback. And I think they're trying to get that wide receiver from Texas A&M. Of course he turned out good. He was great. Jordan Davis turned out good too. Guess what? He was also a 3-star that nobody wanted. That's not talking bad about him. That's the reality of their recruitment. I mean, do you think 24/7 Sports is talking bad about people by rating them a 3-star? What is wrong with you? Would you rather have a roster full of 3-star wide receivers and hope that one of them turns into Lad McConkey, or would you rather have a roster full of Ohio State wide receivers? If you can't answer that question quickly, then you got issues and might be a little bit retarded. Stars don't matter. You brag about Georgia's recruiting class every year and then say stars don't matter when a 3-star ends up being good. Of course stars matter. That's right, Jay. They struck gold with Lad McConkey and Jordan Davis. You're not going to build a successful program over time by getting lucky with a 3-star every 2 years. That's and luckily that's not Georgia's plan. Georgia tries to fill their roster with 4 and 5 stars, and when they strike out on all the highly ranked wide receivers, they go get Lad McConkey or fill in the blank other wide receiver that never did shit at Georgia. Turns out Lad McConkey developed into a good wide receiver. If you want to roll the dice on that every year, be my guest. I'm not interested in it. What's up, Law Tide? No, just because a guy's a 3-star doesn't mean he's going to be bad. But I can guarantee you that a team with 85 3-stars on it will be bad. That I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that a team with 85 3-stars will lose to a team with 85 5-stars 100% of the time. Oh, no, McConkey was a 3-star in actuality. He was a 3-star. Yes. 100%. He was a 3-star that developed into a really good player. A 5-star that turns into a bust isn't suddenly not a 5-star. He's still a 5-star. You can't go back in time and change someone's high school rating. The point is, the people who rate these players aren't always correct. No, they don't have a crystal ball. Jesus Christ. The absolute dumbest argument in college football is the stars don't matter argument. People, it's probably the most brain dead, retarded argument anyone could possibly make. "24/7 talent index." Navy. Didn't Kennesaw State go 1-11? Michael, somebody has a good video investigating the correlation between high school rating and success in college and the NFL. Well, I can tell you that about 90% of 5 stars get drafted and about 1% of 3 stars get drafted. So I don't need to watch a video to understand it. NFL fans always hate their team's draft picks. I did know that Ryan Williams is the youngest player to lose. Well, I know he's the youngest player to lose the ReliaQuest Bowl. I don't know about any bowl in general, but I do know he was the youngest player to lose the ReliaQuest Bowl. Yep. Yep. I did know that. What was Scatterboo rated to come out of high school? I'd have to look it up. Cam Scatterboo. Well, out of high school, I don't know. He went to a junior college, so it must not have been high. I think he was unrated, actually, out of high school. He went to a junior college. When he entered the portal, he was a 3-star transfer. He had a 3-star transfer rating coming out of the portal. The ReliaQuest Bowl used to be the Outback Bowl, yeah. Changed sponsors. Yeah, North Dakota State beat Montana State last night. And Montana State was favored by a few points. Big snow for the South Friday and an ice storm. I haven't heard anything about that here. You know, the South is a huge area, right? The South isn't like just North Georgia or whatever. Let's see. Augusta, Georgia. 10-day forecast. It is going to be cold here. No snow, though. Rain on Friday. 90% chance of rain on Friday. Low of 34. No snow here or ice. Lou Jr. gets his driver's license today. He turned 16 on Sunday, which is the worst possible day you can turn 16 because the DMV or whatever they're calling it now, DDS, Department of Driver Services, is closed on Sunday and Monday. So he has to wait till today to get his driver's license, but he's got an appointment at 4:30. So he goes today to get his driver's license. Game of the year Friday night. I think you might be disappointed, bud. Am I giving him the Mustang? No, he got a truck. I don't think stuff like that can be explained. I mean, teams just, you never know what's going on. It's hard for teams to get motivated every single week. You rarely see the same performance from a team week over week over week. And when you do, you usually end up with a 15-0 team like LSU in 2019, Michigan last year, Georgia in 22. But more often than not, you see Notre Dame lose to Northern Illinois but beat Georgia. That's more normal. That's more normal than a team just playing at its highest level every single week of the season. You rarely see that. Really, at any level of any sport, really, people have off days. Whenever the quarterback stayed up too late the night before, who knows? Will Ohio State be okay at snowing there on Friday? Well, they won't. They won't be in Ohio. Wait a minute. Ohio State is playing in Texas. It's snowing in Texas on Friday? In Dallas? Do you give Texas any chance if they play their best? If Ohio State doesn't play their best, yeah. Texas at 100% capacity and Ohio State at 80% capacity, yeah, Texas can beat them. If Ohio State plays to their potential, nobody can beat them no matter how good they play. But just Texas playing at their potential would not be enough to beat Ohio State. It would have to be that plus Ohio State not playing to their potential. I don't know about that, SEC football. I don't know about that. Ohio State right now is way better than they were in 2022. And they scored 40 points on Georgia in 2022. And Georgia's defense was way better than it is now. So I don't know. I don't know about that. if it wasn't for the fact that Ohio State's going to finish this season with 2 losses, people would be talking about this as one of the best teams of all time. The 2 losses is probably going to keep them out of that conversation, but the way they're playing right now, the first half against Oregon is one of the most dominating halves of football I've ever seen. Yeah, it was like UJTCU, but Oregon is way better than TC. Oregon is probably the second best team in the country, and Ohio State beat their eyes closed. I mean, it was. I've rarely seen anything like that in college football between 2 really good teams like that. Clemson, Alabama, one year when. What year was that? Was it 2018 or 2016? I think it was 2018. Bama was supposed to have the best team of all time. Clemson goes in there, beats them 44-16 in the national title game. It was like that. Yeah, hopefully they fix the seeding for next year. They don't need to be moving teams from 9 to 3rd and 12th to 4th. They don't need to be doing that. The only teams that should be moved up in the seeding are conference champions who finish outside the top 12. So like this year, the only team that would have got moved up would have been Clemson, and they would have been moved from 16 to 12. Everyone else would have stayed where they're at. Boise State would have been a 9 seed. Arizona State would have been the 11 seed, not the 3 and the 4 seed. It would have given you better first and second round games, and it would have been a more fair reward for the teams that actually finished ranked 1 through 4. They can change the seeding for 2025, yeah. They can't change the format of the playoffs. They can't change the 12-team deal. They can't change the home games. They can't change the bowl. It's different bowl games in the second round every year, in third round every year. They can't change the bowl rotation, but they can change the seeding. They're meeting next week. They're meeting next week in Atlanta. The 10 conference commissioners and the athletic director of Notre Dame. Now, will they change it? I don't know, but they can. They're meeting next week. It would have to be a unanimous vote. Well, if they go to 14 teams, they're going to have to completely change everything about the playoffs, because if you have a 14-team playoff and 4 teams get a bye, that leaves you with 10 teams playing in the first round, half of which will lose. That will leave you with only 5 teams left. You add 5 to the 4 that got a bye, you're now stuck with a playoff with 9 teams left in it. You can't have a playoff with an odd number of teams. So if they go to 14, they're going to have to completely change everything. The number of byes, they would have to do something weird like change it to only 2 teams get byes, or 6 teams. That's probably what they'll do. They'll probably change it to 6 teams getting a bye. The first round playoffs would have the other 8 games in it. Well, even that wouldn't work. Because if the first round had 8 teams, the second, that would leave you with 4. You would add that to the 6 that got a bye. That puts you at 10. So then after the second round, you'd only have 5 teams left. And again, so I don't know what they're going to do. But however many teams they go to and however many buys they do, you have to whittle it down to 8 teams by the second or third round, because you can't have an odd number. You can't have 10. You can't have 6. You can't have 6 teams left at any point. You can't have 10 teams left at any point. Because if you have 6 teams left, what happens in the next round? There are 3 teams. You know what I'm saying? The number of teams get divided in half. So you can never have a round of playoffs with 6 teams in it or 10 teams in it. So if you go to 14, you got to, or 16, you got to completely change how many teams are getting a bye. I like the 12-team playoff. I think they should fix the seeding, and I think the second round should also be at campuses. The only games that should be bowl games should be the semifinals and the championship game. But I like the 12-team. I like the format outside of the seeding. I don't like the seeding. But I like the 4 teams getting a bye. I like the first round being on college campuses. And I think they should add a reward to the bye week teams by giving them a game on campus in the second round. Then when you get to the semifinals, which is where we're at now, you move to bowls, traditional bowl sites, and you rotate. Look at the ticket prices of these games. They're in the toilet. People, these fans, they can't afford it. Ohio State fans had to buy tickets to a home playoff game against Tennessee. Then the next week, they had to buy plane tickets to Pasadena, California, hotel rooms in Pasadena, California, and tickets to the Rose Bowl. This week, those same Ohio State fans have to buy plane tickets to Dallas, Texas, hotel rooms in Dallas, Texas, and tickets to the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. If they win, then next week, they've got to buy plane tickets to Atlanta, Georgia, hotel rooms in Atlanta, Georgia, and tickets to the national championship game in Atlanta, Georgia. That's why the ticket prices are in the toilet. What you're going to end up with is the same atmosphere you have at the Super Bowl you're going to have in all these bowl games. It's going to be nothing but corporate people sitting in the bleachers. Just average. It's just going to become unaffordable for the average person to travel to all these games. Oh, by the way, this is all going on during New Year's and Christmas, too. Natty tickets starting at $1,500. Yeah, wait till 3 days before the game. You can get them for $300. Anybody that buys a ticket to the national championship right now just has more money than sense. You wait until the national champ. You wait till 3 days and then you buy them. You get them for $300. Look at this shit. Go to the Orange Bowl for $180. What do you think these tickets will cost Thursday morning? This ticket right here Thursday morning will cost $75. Maybe less than that. That's the Orange Bowl, Penn State and Notre Dame. This one's even less. $129 for Texas and Ohio State, two of the biggest brands in the history of college football, playing in a playoff semifinal. I'm telling you right now, you couldn't have gone to the Georgia fucking Auburn game for $129 back in week 3 or whatever, 6 or whatever the fuck it was. And this game's on Friday. Wait till Friday morning. This ticket will be $50. National championship game tickets, $1,200 right now. Wait 10 more. What's today? The national championship's on the 20th. Wait till this January 17th, and we'll come back and check again. You'll see how low these tickets will be. How much does a decent hotel cost? $250. Well, it depends on the city and what's going on in the city. The more hotels rooms there are, supply and demand. So big cities, tons of hotel rooms, drives the price down. Small, like Athens, for example. How many hotels are in Athens, Jay? 5? Your fucking Comfort Inn in Athens, Georgia is $500 a night on a Saturday during football season. You know, there's not enough hotel rooms there. The lack of supply drives the price up. You know, Atlanta's got, I don't know, 500,000 hotel rooms. And then, you know, the bigger the event, the price goes up. Yeah, 15 minutes away. Yeah, the price of hotel rooms in Athens on a Friday or a Saturday night on a home game weekend is insane. And it's not because Athens is some hotbed of tourist activity. It's just, you know, there's your hotel options in Athens are basically like 5 different Comfort Inns. I mean, they're not all Comfort, you know, it's like Holiday Inn, Comfort Inn, Quality Inn. And I don't know how many there are. There's probably a few more than 5. I'm exaggerating a little. But, you know, a hotel chain, Holiday Inn, for example, can't build 10 Holiday Inns in Athens just because Georgia plays 5 home games a year there, right? Like, the hotel would be empty the rest of the year. Like, you know, Athens isn't a tourist destination outside of the fact that it's a college town. So you go there for your football games and shit. And even most people that go to a Georgia football game are driving there and driving home. Most people. So they're not looking for a hotel room. So these small college towns, Tuscaloosa's probably the same way. Auburn's probably the same way. Now you take South Carolina, they play in Columbia, South Carolina, state capital. Columbia's a big city. You know, hundreds of hotels in and around the Columbia area. So you don't have that problem there. But Oxford, I've never been to Oxford, Mississippi, but my guess is there ain't a whole lot of hotels there. You know what I mean? So drive the price up. Columbus, Ohio probably has 0 hotels because there's not been a day since this country was discovered that anyone ever woke up and said, let's go to Columbus for the night. Like, never. I mean, the hotels would make a killing 4 or 5 weekends a year, right? But what about the other 48 weekends of the year? They'd be empty. So that's why you don't have a ton of hotels in these small college towns. Yeah, well, if you go to Mississippi, it's still 1961. Like they haven't Mississippi hasn't moved forward an inch in the last 60 years. Do they? I don't even know if they have internet there yet. That's why you don't see a lot of Ole Miss. Think about it. The only Mississippi State fan we ever see on the internet lives where? Germany. None of the Mississippi State fans that live in Mississippi are on the internet because they don't have the internet. Yeah, that's right, Nick. Outside of the coast, there's nothing in Mississippi's terrible. Biloxi is it for Mississippi. There's nothing else there. Pine trees. Well, not within 5 miles of the coast. There's not anymore. Knoxville hotels are always booked. You mean during a Saturday on football, during home games? Yeah, I believe that. Or you just mean in general? Yeah. I'd be shocked if Ewers went back to Ohio State. They already paid him $1 million one time for no reason. I don't think they're going to do it again. Yeah, that's the only time I've ever driven through Mississippi is on the way to New Orleans. Or Biloxi. You go to Biloxi, turn around, and get the hell out. And even when you go to Biloxi, you don't do anything but stay in the casinos. There's nothing else to do there. Is what the schools are paying players public knowledge? Yes. Every single school is paying every single player $0, and that's public knowledge. Schools have never paid one dime to the players. Next year they will. Next year they're allowed to split up $20 million amongst scholarship athletes across all sports. No, it's not allegedly. I can guarantee you that a school has never paid a player a dime. The school didn't pay yours $1 million. It seems like you might be confused on what NIL is. Kind of like how you were confused earlier about McHonky. Scholarships aren't paying the players. The player never gets that money. Somebody on an academic scholarship's not getting paid by the university. Somebody with a Pell Grant's not getting paid by the university. They're just having their tuition paid from someone else. They're never actually getting paid. The schools don't pay players. Next year they will. $20 million spread out across all scholarship athletes amongst all the sports. It's up to the schools how they divvy the money out. But it's a $20 million cap. Yeah, McConkey and Bowers both had great years. $19.9 million to football. Well, it's up to the school, but I'm sure in a lot of cases the football players are going to get the majority of the money. Well, it's not much. And the schools aren't doing it because they want to. They're doing it because they've been forced to by the courts. If it was up to the schools, they'd never give the players a dime. They want all the money for themselves. That's the way they've been operating for the last 100 years. Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with NIL. This isn't instead of NIL. This is in addition to NIL. But NIL isn't paid by the school. I don't know any college gymnasts. What's the bet? I forgot. Do I owe you money? I owe you $50. And what do you want to do? You'll take Penn State. No, I want Penn State. I'm taking Penn State in that game, not Notre Dame. So I'll just send you the $50 because I'm not taking Notre Dame in that game. Do you do PayPal or Cash App? I can't. Just send me a request on whichever one for $50 and I'll send it to you. I'm taking Penn State in that one. You'll take Notre Dame. Okay, so basically we just have $100 bet on the Notre Dame game then. 100 if I lose, and we're even if I win. So if I lose the bet, I owe you 100. If I win the bet, we're even. All right, I got it. Yeah, that's fine. Just remind me after the game. I got you. Yeah, that's fine, Jason. Yeah, I remember. But you already paid that, though. The 100 from the earlier bet with Bama making the playoffs or whatever. I remember that one. And I remember now that we made a bet on the Georgia Notre Dame game. Because I remember you saying that give you a chance to win some of your money back, and I remember that now. So you're right. I do owe you $50. But if you want to roll it over to the Penn State Notre Dame game, we'll do that. I'll take Penn State plus the, what is it, 2.5? Yeah, we'll do that. Just remind me after the game, whichever way it goes, whatever I owe you. And we'll never know. We'll never know. What we do know is that they definitely didn't deserve to make it. I mean, they got beat by a terrible Michigan team. Alabama's not anywhere close to a playoff team this year, honestly. They lost to 3 unranked teams. Tennessee even versus Syracuse. What, you're taking Syracuse to beat Tennessee straight up? Is that what you're saying, Hoghead? I mean, that's crazy. You're a Tennessee fan. Why would you think Tennessee's going to lose to Syracuse? I mean, I'll take that bet right now. I mean, Tennessee will probably be a 10-point favorite. You're going to give me Tennessee straight up? All right. I mean, there's not a bet I won't take where somebody's giving me 10 free points. I mean, I would take any bet on planet Earth if you're giving me a line that's 10 points better than the actual line. Any bet. Yeah, I do got to get out of here. I am working overtime. I don't mind it during the season. I can justify working overtime during the season. But we're getting to the point on the morning show where it ain't the season. Well, they hadn't beat Georgia and Knoxville since what, when was the, shit, I don't even remember the last time. Was it 2014? Yeah, of course you would take Texas plus 16. I would too. Getting 10 free points. Yeah, my car ain't going back to that shop. All right, Henry. See you later, buddy. Have y'all watched the new Squid Games yet? Season 2. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm fixing to start talking about Squid Game Season 2. If you haven't watched it and you're planning on watching it, click off the video. I'm going to talk about Squid Game Season 2, and then I'm going to end the stream. So if you don't want to hear about Squid Game Season 2 because you're planning on watching it, thank you for tuning in this morning, and we'll see you tonight at 9 o'clock for the call-in show, because I'm fixing to talk about, it's 9:27 right now. At 9:28, I'm going to talk about Squid Game Season 2. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, though. I hate when people do that to me, so I'm just want to give fair warning to anybody that might currently be watching it or about to watch it or whatever. Click off the video now. All right, here I go. Final warning. Squid Game Season 2 is half a fucking season. It's not a season. It's half a season. Now, some Netflix series in the past have done this, but they have told you ahead of time. Stranger Things did this. Hey, that's what they told you 3 years ago, or what, 4 years ago now, when that last season came out. They say, hey, new season coming out, but we're splitting it into 2 parts. We're going to put out the first, 6 episodes, and then 3 months later, we're going to put out the next 6 episodes. They at least had the decency to tell you ahead of time that that's what they were doing, so that you knew going into watching it that you weren't going to get any resolution. You knew that you were only going to see half the season, then it was going to end, then you were going to have to wait some amount of time to see the second half of the season. Squid Games 2 didn't do that. They sold this as an entire season. This is Squid Game Season 2. Here you go. It's out. Enjoy it. Go watch it. 10 episodes, whatever it is. Here, watch it. And then you watch the last episode, and it's not fucking over. It ends in the fucking middle. It's not even like your traditional like cliffhanger where you sort of get an ending, but then something else happens that makes you go, oh shit, they're going to make another season. It's not even that. They literally just cut it off halfway through. It's not a full season. Not a single storyline in season 2 is answered by the end of season 2. Not one. You don't know what the fuck the people on the boat are doing. You don't know what the captain of the boat is up to that ends up killing the one guy and throwing him overboard. You don't know why the guy that's running Squid Games is pretending to be a contestant in Squid Games. They don't even finish the fucking Squid Games. They never even play the last game. It literally just ends in the middle. Now, I don't like when these other seasons split the final season into two, even when they tell you ahead of time, hey, we're splitting this final season into two. We're going to, the final season is 10 episodes long. We're releasing the first 5 episodes on this date. Then you got to wait 3 months to watch the next 5. I don't even like it when they do that. But this was just a straight up lie and marketing ploy on the part of the people at Squid Games. And what makes it even fucking worse is that we waited 5 fucking years. 5. Squid Games came out in 2020. Took them 5 years to supposedly make season 2. Turns out it's only half the fucking season. I wasted whatever it is, 8 hours of my life. Because what I do is, it's the same reason, like the Penguin on HBO. I had to listen to everybody talk about how great the Penguin. You got to watch Penguin, Lou. Got to watch the Penguin. Penguin's really good. You got to watch it. Oh yeah, what streaming service is it on? Oh, it's on HBO Max. Okay, I get HBO Max. It's not the whole season. It's coming out 1 week at a time. So I said, fuck this. I'm not doing that. When I sit down to watch something, I want to watch it from beginning to end. Over like a 2-day period, 1 week period, whatever, depending on what's going on, how busy I am, that kind of thing. So, but again, with the Penguin, at least they told you, hey, we'll release, it's 1 episode at a time, like TV from 40 years ago, which is stupid. I don't know why anybody still does that. It's completely ridiculous. No one is interested in waiting 7 days to watch episode 2. It's retarded. They should stop doing that too. But again, they didn't lie. They told you, hey, we got this show, The Penguin. It's coming out every Sunday night at 9. Watch an episode, wait a week, watch another episode. I don't do that. So I didn't get an HBO Max subscription. I waited until all the episodes had come out on a week-by-week basis. Then I bought an HBO Max subscription. And in about a week, I watched all 8 or 10 episodes, whatever it was. I binge watched it. That's what people do. That's what I did. If I would have known Squid Game Season 2 was going to end this way, I would not have watched it right now. I would have waited another 5 years for Season 3 to come out, which is really only the second half of Season 2. I would have waited so that I could actually get a conclusion to the story I spent 8 hours watching. Instead, they just gave me half a series, but sold it as an entire series. Squid Game Season 1 ended on a cliffhanger, but the actual story of Squid Games 1 was wrapped up in the last episode of Squid Game Season 1. And then at the very end, you get the 2-minute scene or whatever where he's at the airport trying to decide whether or not to get on the plane. And you go, oh, there's going to be a Season 2. I don't mind that. But the actual story of Squid Games 1 got wrapped up in Squid Game Season 1. In Squid Game Season 2, there's 2 or 3 main storylines. None of them get resolved. None of them get tied up. None of them have a fucking ending. None of them. We don't know what's going on with the captain on the boat that has spent the entire second series blindly searching the ocean for the island. We have no idea what's going on. The captain stabs somebody. He's messing with the drone. He throws a guy over the boat. We don't know why. We don't know if they're going to find the island. We don't know anything. We don't know why the runner or creator or whatever they're calling him, the front man of the Squid Games, is pretending to be a contestant in the Squid Games. We don't know why. We watched an entire season of him knowing that he's the front man for Squid Games, but he's also participating in the Squid Games, and we don't know why. And the season ends, and we still don't know why. And we didn't even get to see all 4 or 5, whatever it is, games that they play as part of the Squid Games. They literally answer nothing. It's not like part 1 where the main story gets wrapped up and then they dangle a little something at the end to let you know, hey, there's going to be a next one, and it's like a cliffhanger thing. That's not this. This, they just stop. The show just stops. It's just like, that's it. We'll see you in 5 years. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, there's been 15 Halloween movies, but in every single one, Michael Myers dies at the end. Now, we all know by the time you watch Halloween 2 or 3 or whatever, you're like, well, he's probably not really dead. And but still, that story contained within that particular movie is wrapped up. And you leave the theater going, well, how are they going to bring him back to life for the next one? Because you just know they are. But the actual story of whatever that movie, Halloween 2 or 3 or 4, the actual story is wrapped up. It's infuriating. It's infuriating. I don't know what to do about these Koreans. They're fucking everything up. Hey, lady, you got to get a hold of your people. You got to get a hold of your people with this Squid Game shit. Lady. You have to take some of the blame here. If I'm expected to take responsibility for slavery, you have to take responsibility for whatever happens with Korean television and Squid Games. So, if a white guy in 2024 has to be blamed for slavery, then you have to be blamed for whatever this is that's going on with these Korean TV production people. I mean, that's only fair. If slavery is my fault, then Squid Games is your fault. No one asked you to take responsibility for slavery. That's not true. No one asked me directly, but generally, yes. I have been asked to take responsibility for slavery. Generally, yes, I have. That's because you're not white. You're Korean. You'll feel right at home in Vegas next week, though. It's crawling with Chinese out there. I don't mind the Chinese. That's how you learn to play baccarat. You hang out with the Chinese. They'll teach you how to play that baccarat. That's when I play baccarat, I sit down at the table, I find the most Chinese looking person there, and I make whatever bet they make. That's the only strategy I know of in baccarat. It doesn't always work, but it works more often than when I don't do that. Oh, them Chinese know what they're doing on that baccarat table. They got pads of paper and pens, and they got all kinds of shit written down. Well, I can't tell if they're writing things or drawing things. Because, Chinese writing looks like drawings to me. But, so I don't know what they're doing with that doodle pad. But whatever they bet, that's what I don't mean the amount. They might be betting a lot more money. I mean, if they bet player, I bet player. If they bet banker, I bet banker. That's all. I just copy them. If they're betting $1,000 a hand, I'm not going to do. That's not necessarily what I do. But I make the same bet they make. Just play banker. Well, banker has better odds of winning, but then you have to pay the commission if you do win. But yeah, I make whatever bet they make. And when they start screaming, I start screaming. It makes it look like I know what I'm doing, when in reality I don't. Damn, Jay. That's not true, Jay. I've seen you play roulette. I've seen you put $25 on the roulette wheel, Jay. I've seen you sit at that video poker machine, too. At the bar. Yeah, maybe I'll record some videos out in Vegas when we go in January. I don't think I did any last time. But last time was the first time I'd ever been to Vegas, so I was like the idiot tourist out there. But now I've been there a few times. I kind of know what to do and where to go and all that. So maybe I'll record some videos or do a live stream or something when we're out there at the end of January. Video of the Tennessee man's top 5 Uncle Lou moments. They were big mad, I can tell you that. They did not like losing to Arkansas. And they definitely didn't like me yelling at them about it. Going with a group of friends in June. We're taking our 21, 22-year-olds to gamble and visit the chicken ranch. I'm not doing no chicken ranches or bunny ranches or none of that shit. I did tell my daughter the other day I'd take her out there when she turns 21, but she's only 17. But all right, Belt. See you next time, buddy. Call-in show tonight at 9, by the way. Seems like it's been a while since we did it, but Christmas and New Year's and bowl games on weird days has messed up the call-in show schedule over the last few weeks, but we will do one tonight at 9. There won't be one on Thursday because we've got a playoff game on Thursday at 7:30. So there'll be a call-in show tonight and a call-in show next Tuesday night. All right, I do have to get out of here, y'all. I think today on the What Went Wrong series, we're going to do Florida State. If you start pissing off Bama and Tennessee fans in public, it's going to go next level. I mean, that was an odd circumstance. Normally, I'm here every Saturday during the college football season to watch football and do the streams and the videos and all that. Because of the hurricane, I was displaced. I couldn't stay here. So I was like, well, if I can't stay here, where's the best place to go to watch the games? And I said, well, I'll just go to Cherokee. I can stay there for free. They have electricity and running water. You know, and they've got the sports book. I can sit down there and watch football games all day. So that's what I did. But hopefully that doesn't happen again. You know, because the circumstances of why I had to be there were terrible. But it was fun. I am glad I got an opportunity to go sit in a sports book all weekend because that's something I've always wanted to do, but I've never been able to do it. So I am glad I got the opportunity to go and do that, but it's not something I would be able to do regularly. As far as, you know, and it just worked out good that I happened to be there, which is really close to Tennessee. So there was a lot of Tennessee fans there, and Tennessee happened to lose while I was sitting there. So it was just like a perfect storm of events that happened there that enabled that to happen. The Tennessee situation, now I was the asshole there. Like, I was literally yelling at a group of 100 Tennessee fans about how shitty their football team was 5 minutes after they lost to Arkansas. Like that's shitty. The Bama guy, that was his fucking fault. The Bama guy was the asshole. So the first video wasn't my fault. I wasn't doing anything. I was minding my own fucking business. The Bama guy was in the wrong. The second one with the Tennessee fans, I mean, I was acting like an asshole in front of those people who just saw their team lose to Arkansas, which is hilarious. But like, that was me sort of, you know, looking for trouble. The first one, that was all on the Bama fan. That guy was an idiot. Yeah, I mean, think about what you would do if you were with a group of 20 friends watching your team play. Your team lost, and then some idiot with a cell phone comes up and starts yelling at you about how shitty your team is. Like, you would have been mad too. I don't blame that Tennessee guy for getting mad. I don't blame him at all. The first one, the Alabama guy, that was all on him. He asked for that. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to have BA get on the phone with her people and see if she can figure out what the fuck's going on with this Squid Games ending in the next season and all that. And maybe I'll have an update for you Thursday morning, direct from the motherland, Korea, on why they fucked that up. And I'll see y'all tonight at 9. Enjoy your Tuesday and have a good morning.